son. O son of my womb.
I'm glad you said that because a lot of times when we read these things, especially if I'd have read this in King James, that'd be like, okay, verse number 2 I need to skip over. That's obviously not something I need to take a look at or whatever. So explain verse number 2 to me. Why is verse number 2 important? Because we don't just write stuff and have it in the Bible for you to skim over. So why is that important? Oh, my son, oh, son of my womb, oh, son of my vows.
Think about this. As parents, I have an expectation that I have been helping you, nurturing you, training you over the years.
Okay.
And therefore, as a result of what I've been teaching you, how I've been training you, I'm expecting you are going to have certain behaviors, certain indications that I can look at you and go, he's mine.
Okay.
She's mine. She talks like her mother. She has this attitude like her father. This, and I have expectations. Well, I almost believe there was something he did that made her go, son.
Are you mine to
my womb. Son of my vows. In other words, I didn't have you outside. You're not a stepchild. You were the result of a covenant between your father and I.
So the sense that we're actually getting out of this second verse is important because we're seeing the tone that the queen mother is talking to the king in. This is a little bit of a chastisement.
Right.
Like, oh, my son?
Right.
I know you're not, no, you not my son acting like that.
Right.
So this is kind of what we're getting in here. So she kind of came at the king.
No, she did come at him. But she has that authority by virtue of being his mother. She has that authority by by virtue of being the queen mother. Because what's believed is that Lemuel is actually Solomon.
Oh, so this is Bathsheba talking.
That's what we believe.
Wow, that's really, really huge. So I think this is really, really important and we got a few minutes before we got to go to break, but I think this is really important. Verse number 2 she's talking to a grown man.
Right.
A man who's been anointed and has ascended to the throne.
A grown king.
A grown king. Grown rich king.
Right.
Who's been blessed with all of the wisdom that God could possibly give.
Right.
How important is it that Solomon takes the time to listen to his mother?
Oh.
To listen to his elders? Because I think we get to a point sometimes in life where we're adults. And, I'm one to talk. I'm standing here doing a podcast with my dad. So what do you want to say? But we want to stop listening to our parents.
Right.
He not only listened to his mother, but he took time to actually make what his mother said scripture and actually write it down.
Yeah.
How important is that for us to continue to have our parents in our life being able to pour into us?
Well, you got to have that, especially when you have believing parents. That when you pray for wisdom, think about this, you pray for wisdom, we don't get to tell God how to give it to us. Just because when you pray for wisdom, you're not going to get it all out of the scriptures. You're going to get some wisdom just from what your parents have been through. You're going to get some wisdom that comes from friends. You said to God, give me wisdom. It says he pours it out liberally. He didn't tell you what the method was. He just said he would give it to you.
So a lot of times I think when we look in the Bible, we say Solomon makes that sacrifice. Got a few minutes left here. And he prays for wisdom. A lot of us probably think that God just dumped a whole bunch of wisdom on him and that was just the be all end all of it. But obviously with all of this wisdom, God probably gave him a whole bunch, but with all of this wisdom, Solomon still makes some missteps.
Right, absolutely.
That we see in scripture. And so the mother is actually kind of come to him, hey, let me apply some more wisdom to you.
Right.
Real quick. Because you starting to misstep here.
Right.
So I think that's,
So she establishes who he is.
Okay.
And she's saying, you're my son. And as a result of being my son, you're not Pookie and them son, you're not Shanita's son, you are my son.
So based on your relationship, there's a certain way you should act.
That's what she's expecting.
And so I think if we apply this to our Christianity, a couple of weeks ago we talked about, the sin code. And I asked you, okay, I'm still screwing up. How exactly can we say I'm dead to sin, but I'm still jacking stuff up?
Right.
And you actually let me know. It's actually by virtue of our relationship to Jesus Christ that makes us clean, and that based on that relationship, we should then act in a certain way because of that relationship.
Right.
So she's
happening though because of the transformation